Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here. Time for another Patreon-sponsored blind reaction. And this one comes to you courtesy of Surferior, who has requested that I react to 7 Pokemon that got way creepier over time by Outside Xtra. So yeah, more Outside Xtra, more creepy Pokemon, though kind of a bit different. These aren't Pokemon that are just inherently creepy, these are ones that got creepier over time, which I'm not really sure exactly what that entails, but I'm very curious to find out. And, yeah, see how creepy we get this time. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. Here we go.
In the old days, Pokemon were cuter than a Pikachu in pajamas, sweeter than a Magikarp in a maple glaze. Oh damn, just made myself hungry.
Okay.
Pokemon fans or long-time viewers of this channel,
and I'm sure Magikarp tastes delicious.
The makers of Pokemon have shown a tendency to give these once adorable critters super creepy backstories. These usually involve harvesting the souls of dead children or being eaten alive. But guess what? The classic old-school Pokemon you used to love are no exception to this new and terrifying
Okay, this could be fun.
That started out cute and cuddly, but have since turned horrifying, because I guess everything good turns to ashes eventually, is the moral of Pokemon.
Who's that Pokemon?
Rattata?
It's Rattata! Oh, red eyes like the devil.
Odds are good that Rattata was one of the very first Pokemon that you ever encountered.
Yeah?
Why? Because this tiny purple-hued rat-like creature is a common sight in the grasslands and starting areas of many Pokemon games. Easy enough to battle, quite straightforward to catch, Rattata is the perfect beast to introduce new players to the exciting world of Pokemon. As such, the Pokédex entries for Rattata in Red and Blue, the original Pokemon games, were as straightforward and as pleasant as you would expect. We learned that Rattata bites anything when it attacks. Small and very quick, it is a common sight in many places. Now you might think that's all you or anyone ever needed to know about the mostly cute, mostly harmless Pokemon Rattata.
Yeah, I guess not.
Because almost 20 years after it first came on the scene, the makers of Pokemon clearly reckoned it was important we also know Rattata dies horribly most of the time. As per Rattata's entry in 2017's Pokemon Ultra Sun. Its incisors grow continuously throughout its life. If its incisors get too long, this Pokemon becomes unable to eat and it starves to death. Yes, if this sweet little rat's teeth get too lengthy, it will slowly waste away, unable to chew, or perhaps even to fit food into its mouth alongside its gigantic teeth. Seeing as those teeth grow continuously, this surely happens to most Rattata after a while, in a particularly cruel and ironic way of nature punishing them for living a heretofore long and healthy life. You never see this in-game, of course, so we've paid a forensic team to build an accurate mock-up of what this would look like. Well, I hope we didn't pay them very much.
Yeah.
Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah.
It's Primeape!
Okay.
Oh man, looks furious.
It does.
The Pokemon Primeape is like a monkey that's fallen into a cotton candy machine, and is really pissed about it. This yelping, tree-dwelling Pokemon has always been irate, right back to the very first time aspiring trainers set out to catch them all. Primeape is, and I quote, always furious and tenacious to boot. It will not abandon chasing its quarry until it is caught. Now, you probably never thought too hard about Primeape's rage, because maybe you were busy with school, growing up, falling in love, etc. But apparently the Pokemon team have thought about little else in those intervening years, because here they come with a more up-to-date Pokédex entry that explains what happens when Primeape really loses its temper. Oh, what's it going to be? It punches its target to death? Oh god, it's not going to fling feces at them, is it? No, the truth is much more tragic. These days we know that Primeape can get, and again I quote, so angry that it dies as a result. Its face looks peaceful in death, however. Oh, poor thing. I kind of wish it was just flinging its feces. Not at me, you'll be.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Sliggoo!
Oh.
Don't trust
I don't even remember that one.
He's looking into my soul.
Not many people know this, but snails actually make pretty good pets. They're quiet, sorta cute, and easy to look after. It does take a while to walk them, though.
Yeah.
You can see why you'd be won over by the Pokemon Sliggoo, which clearly resembles the humble snail, right down to the shell and the wiggling, probing protrusions atop its slimy head. In fact, when we first met Sliggoo, we learned what those wiggling stalks were all about. Quote, its forehorns are a high-performance radar system. It uses them to sense sounds and smells, rather than using ears or a nose.
That's cool.
In other contemporary Pokédex entries, we further learn that Sliggoo's eyes have devolved, the Pokémon having no use for eyes with such a sophisticated built-in radar, and also that it excretes a sticky goo.
So the eyes are
that
just there to
can
make it
dissolve
look
anything,
cute.
a trait used to drive away opponents. These descriptions really hit all three criteria for what we consider a great Pokédex entry. Interesting, slightly scientific sounding, and nobody's getting melted. But alas, the same cannot be said of today's Sliggoo, which is transformed instantaneously into a horrific nightmare beast by the following later addendum.
Making it look creepy.
It has trouble drawing a line between friends and food. It will calmly try to melt and eat even those it gets along
Wonderful!
with. In related nightmare fuel, Sliggoo is almost a metre tall, so if it did decide to, quote, calmly melt you, good luck getting away before your legs are turned into liquid and you're slurped up, to use the language of 2016's Pokemon Moon. So yeah, we're thinking maybe not such a great pet after all. I mean, cats might get fur everywhere, but no cat has ever tried to melt me. Although, thinking about it, they probably would if they could figure out how to.
Oh, don't ruin Eevee, please.
What have they done to it?
That's what I'm
is
saying.
Pikachu's closest rival for most beloved Pokemon ever, a
Yeah.
status cemented by Eevee being a partner Pokemon option in the recent Let's Go games.
Always been one of my favorites. Aww.
Oh my god. Eevee is cuter than an especially cute button, thanks to how it's modelled on the real-world fennec fox, with its big ears, big ruff, bushy tail, and bright sparkling eyes.
Yeah.
Get it together!
Sorry. But it is also a badass Pokemon thanks to a unique trait, as described in Pokemon Red and Blue, like so. Its genetic code is irregular. It may mutate if it is exposed to radiation from element stones. This means that Eevee has the ability to evolve into one of 8 different forms
now.
with the help of various stones found throughout the games. This is
I remember when it
excellent
was
news
just
for
3.
anyone wanting a small army of endearing elemental fox fighters. But there is a slightly weirder side to this cute critter's adaptability. Look into Ultra Moon's Pokédex entry for Eevee, and you'll find that not only are its genes easily influenced by its surroundings, but even its face starts to look like that of its trainer. So instead of the adorable default fox face, you'd end up with a weird Eevee with a human face? Oh, what does that even look like? I mean... Oh, no, I regret even asking. No, stop it! No,
Yeah, none of that.
Stop it! Pokemon, why do you ruin things?
Okay, that's not that bad. I don't think they made it quite to that extent. Well, it's a ghost. You'd kind of expect that.
Ghastly is a ghost Pokemon with prominent fangs, so it was never going to be the sweetest pocket
Yeah.
monster in the pack. Many who remember Ghastly from the early games will recall meeting this spooky Pokemon in Lavender Town, a settlement overrun with ghosts from which you must oust the meddling Team Rocket in a bone-chilling escapade. Back then, Ghastly was described to players thus. Almost invisible, this gaseous Pokemon cloaks the target and puts it to sleep without notice. A chilling idea that you will nonetheless agree is entirely suitable for a game made for children.
Yeah.
These days, the facts surrounding Ghastly are considerably more intense. We now know, for instance, the weirdly specific fact that poisonous gas comprises 95% of its body. It's said that the remaining 5% is made up of the souls
Wonderful.
of those who died from the gas.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering how this happens, the rumour goes, it's said that the gas emanating from a graveyard was possessed by the grievances of the deceased and thus became a Pokemon.
Okay.
This raises many questions, but chief among them, how and why is gas being released from a graveyard? We don't know, but we do know there is no possible explanation that a child playing Pokemon should have to think about. Yeah, that's how you go from chilling to no chill. No chill at all.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Frostlass!
Another one I don't know.
As Pokemon players, we understand the allure of collecting things, be it gym badges, new monsters, or the tears of Gary Oak with which to make a delicious milkshake. But there's a Pokemon out there who takes collecting too far, and that Pokemon is Frostlass, an Ice/Ghost type Pokemon that evolved from Snorunt, first spied way back in 2007's Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Players of that game may remember learning that Frostlass freezes enemies with icy breath, and that what seems to be its body is actually hollow. A lot has changed since 2007, of course. The Pokemon games are now much more visually impressive, Soldier Boy is less of a thing, and now Frostlass is positively nightmare-inducing. Because, fun fact, this frosty lady of the mountains is obsessed with grisly trophies. Quote, when it finds humans or Pokemon it likes, it freezes them and takes them to its
that's great.
where they become decorations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, get caught out in the snow and expect to wind up a human Funko Pop, frozen forever as part of Frostlass's grim collection. Yeah, obsessive collecting of living things is only cute when we do it, Frostlass. Now get in this Pokeball. I've nearly completed my Alolan Dex.
Who's that Pokemon?
Cubone?
Cubone! I'm getting tragic vibes.
Yeah.
With its skull, headgear and bone mallet, every Cubone looks like it's ready for a Skeletor cosplay. However, reading Cubone's Pokédex entry in red and blue makes it clear this creature is always ready, because, as the Pokédex says, it never removes its skull helmet, and no one has ever seen this Pokemon's real face. Okay, that's cosplay dedication. But when Pokemon Yellow came along, more was explained and our hearts were broken. As it turned out, Cubone wears the skull of its deceased mother. Its cries echo inside the skull and come out as a sad melody. The poor grieving creature, you might think.
Never had yellow,
Not too fast, as we have no idea how it got its mother's skull, nor what it truly is. No one has seen its face, so it could be anything at all under there. It could be this! What's more, having them around isn't very
Wouldn't surprise me.
As shown by Ultra Sun's Pokédex entry. At night, it weeps loudly for its dead mother, but those cries only attract its natural enemy, Mandibuzz. Great, so it wears its mother for a face. We don't know what its actual face looks like, and its cry attracts massive vulture Pokemon.
Okay. I was wondering what a Mandibuzz was, but...
So, sorry about all that, but yeah, there were some Pokemon that used to be really sweet and really cute, but no more. No more. Why can't we have nice things Pokemon create? Why? Why couldn't you leave Eevee alone? Why does it have a horror face now? What was the thinking behind that? Anyway, thank you for watching this. If you can think of any more Pokemon that used to be adorable and are now nightmare-inducing, then why not ruin more memories by popping them in the comments so that we can take a look. And if you enjoyed this and we have more videos for you to check out, this one up here is from us. It's about really annoying memory games in video games. And look, there's a Clefairy on the thumbnail. And down here, this one is from Outside Xbox, and it is all about the ways that games try to disguise loading screens. Thank you for watching. To try and forget what we've seen and said. Bye.
Well, there we go. That was fun. Yeah. Some interesting stuff there for sure. And this is kind of a good one for me because I've only really played the earlier Pokemon games. So I knew most of these other than like a couple of them, and it's kind of fun to see what they've done with them in the meantime. Yeah. Poor Rattata. Primeape. Just rage itself to death. That's, the Eevee thing, I mean, that's weird, but I think it just means more like a subtle influence and not its face literally becoming something else. It just more is about it subtly starting to take on a resemblance. But I don't know. I mean, it could be. And Ghastly, just wow. Cubone. Well, fun video, definitely. Learned a bit more about some certain Pokemon, and it was all pretty interesting. Anyway, hope you liked the reaction. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.